Rovers involved in a 5-goal thriller down at the Kirklees Stadium, but unfortunately, we go away with absolutely nothing. We'll talk about that and more next. Back once again with another match review, looking back at Blackburn Rovers' latest match out in the Championship, and we'll get to it in just 1 second. If you're new, where you been, smash your subscribe and get your bang up today with all things Blackburn Rovers related, Championship related, world football related. We got it all here, boys. Under Wardlewski, of course, Rovers suffered their first defeat on the road, of course, and it came at the hands of Huddersfield Town. I'll tell you how it happened in just 1 second. Of course, a big shout out to my motherfucking BRPs. I'm talking about my pay tree horns, boys and girls. Big shout out to you guys. Thank you for your continued support as we, of course, try to grow the channel to something a little bit special. Of course, hopefully you can check out the link down below, patreon.com/Roverseas, if you want to join the band of men and women, of course. But anyway, we're going to talk about it. It is, of course, Rovers going to Huddersfield Town, and unfortunately it wasn't, of course, a happy travelling for Rovers. Unfortunately not, no. Blackburn Rovers losing today, 3-2 on the day at bloody the Kirklees, John Smiths, whatever you want to call it, 3-2 in the end. And the game, especially first 45 anyway, but a game that I think we actually deserve to lose this game, in all honesty. If we were to get a point, I would have been over the moon. Absolutely, I would have done backflip. I would have done a time restart and backflip if we would have got a point out of this game. But we were very dire in the first half. Pretty lucky to actually be in consideration for this match at the end of it. Alex Valerio opened up the scoring on the 36th minute to go into half-time in command. Should I stand right there? How about that? Blocking the bloody sunshine. So Valerio took the lead for his long-range strike for Huddersfield Town to give themselves the lead, and a deserved lead as well. They probably had 2 or 3 real good chances to put the game to bed already. They hit the bar at least once. It might even be more than that. But they got their just desserts with the lead, and of course they were well-deserved for that. Into the second half, though, Rovers did get himself right back into it with big bad boy Ben Diaz scoring his 8th goal of the campaign. I think go outright top goal scorer there at the moment, but of course, that was just maybe that was a bit of confusion. Maybe he was, maybe it wasn't. But he soon was to become the top goal scorer, of course. Danny Ward then, of course, levelled it. Or actually got Huddersfield back in front with a power header, power down to the ground. You can't really stop those. Good goal in the end for him to score. And then, of course, Brereton Diaz got himself another chance to go officially outright with a penalty. I think he was brought down in the box. There was a couple of little collisions in there. Eventually, I think it was given in favour of a penalty. And Diaz slotted home his 9th. I said his 9th goal of the season. And we're still in the month of bloody September. So 2-2, you know what? I would have taken that. I would have taken that all bloody day long. I would have taken a 1-1 draw. I would have taken a 2-2 draw. But unfortunately, Huddersfield and Rovers' leaky defence had other bloody stories up their hands. Of course, Danny Ward getting a second, Huddersfield's third to get the 3 points. Let's take a look at the stats then. Here you go. Shots 13 apiece. Of course, six of them off target for Rovers, 4 of them off target for Huddersfield. 3 of them were in the back of the net. Of course, shots saved. Kaminski keeping us in this game once again. Just the one save for Nichols, of course. So really, maybe was it shots blocked that probably kept Huddersfield in this one, considering the amount of shots that we had. They had more corners than we did. We had more free kicks than they did. But ultimately, it was 50-50. Look at that, straight down the middle. It was a very even game. But ultimately, when you look at it, and we'll look at the stats right here in a bit more detail. The overall possession here. I've got to bloody bring it to my face, cheeky. Big chances. They had 5 big chances in the match. 3 of them were missed, and they did hit the word once. Rovers had 2 big chances. We converted the 2 big chances. That's all we had. That's all we bloody had. As for the first half, let's take a look at the first half. We had more possession in the first half, but I think that's not what we want. We don't really want the possession. We want to give it away. We want to make sure we're counter-attacking, of course. Rovers not really at the races. They had 2 big chances themselves. They hit the woodwork in the first half as well. More passes as well. More accurate passes in the first half of Rovers. But ultimately, it accounts for absolutely nothing. We noticed that last season, having all the gear, having all the possession, amounts to nothing. We should be. That's not our style. Our style of play these days is to be the counter-attacking side. Second half wasn't more Huddersfield. They tried to press us because we actually got ourselves back into the game. They started to raise the tempo, and of course they wanted it more than we did. And of course we had a very patchy defence. We did not have Lenihan at the start. Carter did okay. You know, it does not fill me with confidence having Carter in the back there. But and then we lost Nyambe at right back, which again then we had to use. What did we have to use in the end? We had to use Tyler Magalori came in on, and that is you know, that is a stretch. I don't think he's at championship level. I know he spent time at Motherwell last season. I think he might have even been loaned elsewhere, but he's not cut out for the championship at this time, especially away to Huddersfield Town. So you know, those changes, those alterations that Tony Mowbray was forced to make kind of cost us this game, in all honesty. The confidence is not there with Magalori. He looks well out of place. It's like me, you know, going to I don't know where, going to the Chanel #1 or Chanel #5 perfume shop, or Gucci. Me walking around Gucci shop. I don't belong there. I don't bloody belong there. And of course, Magalori. I'm not saying he doesn't belong there, but I just needs maybe I think a season in the Premiership, Scottish Premiership, is nothing compared to maybe a season in League One. So I think he needs to do what Hayden Carter does, take that step to League One and see how he can fare there. But ultimately, Rovers at the back, going forward, we're brilliant. Going back today, shit. We needed Lenihan. I think the understanding between Carter and Ayala's not there, and when Nyambe's not there, I think we definitely need Joe Rankin-Costello back, or maybe using the likes of Buckley maybe at right back. Who knows? Let's take a look at the starting 11s. And Showy, of course, started with the hosts: Lee Nicholson between the sticks, Ed Naby, Matty Pearson, Tom Lees at the back. Alex Valerio, defensive midfielder, scored the bloody goal. Sorba Thomas, Harry Tofolio, Lewis O'Brien, who was everywhere, Josh Garoma, Daniel Simani as well, and Danny Ward with the goals up top. As for their subs, we did see the likes of Josh Ruffles coming on, Ollie Turton as well, Scott High and Dwayne Holmes. 4 subs allowed because of the Nyambe situation. Let's take a look at the Rovers starting. Let me have Kaminsky between the sticks, Ayala at the back, Carter, Pickering and Nyambe made it the back 4, but then we had Travis, Rothwell, Gallagher, Diaz, Buckley and Dolan. 4 subs were used because of the concussion rule, I guess. The subs that came on for Rovers: Tyler Magalori, Leighton Clarkson, Kadra and Paveda. Now let's talk about those changes. In fact, let's take a little look. We'll talk about those changes in a minute because I want to stress about the loanees. This is a shot grid here. Rovers are in the blue, Huddersfield are in the orange. Quite split for Rovers in and outside the box. And like I said, we had more touches than they did, more passes as well, but that's not the way we want to play. And some other stats and figures there for you to have a little look. Heat maps here, of course, on the top it is Huddersfield again, at the bottom is Rovers, and again, it does show that we had more possession. A lot of grass was covered from Rovers, but ultimately, we couldn't get that third goal, or the fifth goal. The fifth goal was massive, and that won this game. And they won it, and they got it right towards the death. Here are the match ratings then, shall we? Of course, the man of the moment, Daniel Ward. He gets the man of the match. In fact, or does he? It looks like Diaz got himself the man of the match. 8.1 for him. Does anybody beat 8.1? Again, it's not my picks for here. So it's quite surprising that Brereton Diaz got the man of the match on the losing side. Gallagher was a bit of an anomaly today. Didn't really see much of him. Travis wore the captain's armband in place of Darrell Enhan. And yeah, Patchy at the back. Of course, losing Nyambe was a massive blow. And hopefully, if anything, if the worst case scenario, we just lose him for the Blackpool game, hopefully it will come back from international break and he'll be back as well. Hopefully also we'll see Darrell Enhan back as well, hopefully on Saturday. But the substitutions, in fact, let's go to those substitutions. Yeah, I feel the loanees, I think it's a massive downgrade when we opt for those. Of course, we have seen some glimmers of hope in some of the loanees, but ultimately, they're not improving our side whatsoever. Clarkson, yeah, he's definitely, I think, a downgrade on Buckley at this stage. Buckley's his passability, his vision, he looks more composed these days, does John Buckley. And then Pavida and Kadra, yeah, they might be an option from the bench, but when we're trying to compare the likes of Kadra and Pavida as alternatives or new Harvey Elliott's, unfortunately, they're not in the they can't afford to lace up his boots, let alone play in the same sort of standard or in the same category as Harvey Elliott. Unfortunately, that's not the case. They're pretty poor, to be honest. And again, maybe it's a confidence issue for them, but at the moment. The 11 that started albeit Darrell Lenihan back in there in place of Carter, should be the first names on the sheet. I think it should be the same 11 week in, week out, as long as they're fit and raring to go. And then hopefully when we get the likes of Bradley Johnson back, Joe Rankin-Costello, and some other of the actual first team players that are actually Blackburn Rovers, then maybe they can start to force their names into the hat. But right here, right now, the 11 that did start the game against Cardiff, the 11 that did start the game for the previous couple of games, should be the ones that we be starting week in, week out. But ultimately, today we didn't look good in the first half, and I think that set the precedent for the rest of the match. So ultimately, we need a bounce back quick time against Blackpool. Hopefully, that will be a game that we can use to go into the international break on a high. Meanwhile, what's Tony Moby been saying after the match? Here are his thoughts, of course, after the loss against Huddersfield Town. Take it away, Tony.
Well, obviously, we're left disappointed. I think the spirit of the team is there to see that the ability to fight back into the game. I think we're obviously hugely disappointed with the goals we lost. I think yes, Lenihan was a loss tonight. Obviously, Nyambi coming off with concussions a loss. Happy enough with the spirit of the team. I think it's there. It's very evident this season. I think they're all fighting really hard. I think Huddersfield are good in possession. I think we knew that. I think it's not our team to lose them sort of goals, really. Two very simple balls into the box, and yet it was a much changed defence. And I'm trying not to apportion too much blame. I think the team fought really hard. We scored some good goals. We had some other opportunities, but so did they. And I think it was probably a good football match for a neutral, but not very good for the managers of both teams. He was injured at half time, to be honest, Joe. We just needed him to keep going, and whether we've damaged him to miss Saturday, I don't know. But yeah, listen, it's hard work, the Championship. The games come thick and fast. It's every 3 days. It's tough to keep going. I think I can't question their desire to have a go, and yet we're really disappointed in the goals we lost tonight. It was very unlike us, and our captain's a big miss to us. It's and yet the future of our central defence is out there. Young boys who are learning on the job, really, and they'll have to learn pretty quick if they're going to help us win football matches. Usually, I think listen, take Daniel Ayala out of that and the goalie, and it's you have a team of kids playing, really, and I thought the spirit they showed and the fighting effort they had, it was pretty. It'll stand them in good stead. It's what we're trying to build the team on a collective spirit, and trying to educate them and make them better footballers along the way. We just obviously always disappointed to lose a football match. But let's give Huddersfield credit there. As I said, I think they're pretty good in possession and they can hurt most teams. They've got passing patterns, but I thought we fought pretty hard, and unfortunately we came away without anything from a game that I think our effort alone probably deserved a bit more than we got.
Meanwhile, what's been going on social media? Let's take a little look at it then, shall we? Of course, Lewis Hartley says, you win some, you lose some. Least the team gave a fighting chance. Can't win them all. We have had such a good start to the season, and I can't go beat around the bush with this one unlucky lads. Meanwhile, Adam Totsuki said, badly let down by our defending was like watching last season. This ground turns our defenders into Sunday League. They had so much time in the box and could play head tennis. Subs made no impact, worryingly, and now more injuries. Hope this doesn't snowball like previous seasons. Solstice Inc. said, attacking-wise, we were very, very good. Defensively, well, no Lenihan. Nyambi going off shows the depth beyond the first 11 is a tad piss. Meanwhile, nonetheless, should have got a point. I don't think so. To the next one, the Seaside lads to rock Blackpool. Yes, indeed. Carl Wicks. Sempervida back to Leeds. He's awful. What has Butterworth done to not get a chance? Meanwhile, Ryan Engel said, we need Wharton badly for our backup centre-back. Horrendous defending, Chris BRFC said. Don't see what the lone players bring that Butterworth Davenport and Chapman wouldn't. Also bring Chapman back, 100%. Anyway, still top six. So let's put it right against Blackpool on Saturday. Meanwhile, the Adder, 180, said, great effort from our young squad, but the simple thing is we can't defend like that and expect to get anything from the game. We made Danny Ward look brilliant tonight, and he's an average striker. On to Blackpool we go. Tim Farron, of course, too many errors at the back tonight, but going forward we are very, very good. Plenty of positives. Ben the Boss Jackson said, Rovers tried, but the defence was pretty bad tonight. Can't win them all. Matt Hornby said, dreadful defending. Without Lenihan, Nyambi, Magalori not good enough, and Pavida isn't great either. Carl Wicks was highly entertaining, but my heart can't take another game like that. James Cook desperately missed Nyambi and Lenihan, who would have prevented at least 2 of those goals. Magalori needs to build some strength, far too easily outpowered to play as fullback. And he's supposed to be one of the bloody quickest players in the game. in the bloody FIFA, in world football, mate. Toby Rover 88, absolutely gutted we lost tonight. Ben Brereton is going to get banged 20 this season. I don't know how much of the game as I have kept away from the football for a chance to unwind and clear my head. We move on to the next one. Chris Martin said it's never nice to lose, especially not nice to lose late on, but we're still 6. It's only 2 defeats in 10. And we're still playing well. I've taken that being in a position right now, if you'd have offered it to me. Win on Saturday, and it's all forgotten. All forgotten indeed. Well, elsewhere in the Championship, let's take a look then, shall we? Of course, we've Preston picked up a draw against Stoke. QPR did beat Birmingham. Middlesbrough, massive win for them over Sheffield United. Hull City and Blackpool picked up a draw there, so that's good for us. And West Brom put the pressure on Mick McCarthy, 4-0 win. Can he actually hang on into the outside of the international break? I think he's got this weekend, and if he doesn't get a result this weekend, I think he could be in trouble over Akai. They like to fire managers over there. Of course, some games tomorrow, which of course will determine the league. But unfortunately for Rovers, we will not be moving from 6th spot. And of course, a win for us on Saturday, I believe, will have us in 6th spot. Even if Bristol City win, I think our goal difference is too strong for anybody to oust us at this stage. So if we win Saturday, we'll go into the playoffs. We'll remain in the playoffs heading into the international break. But of course, we'll beating Blackpool at the moment is going to be a tough order. They are doing very, very well. Just 1 defeat in the past 5 games for them. Rovers now 1 defeat in the past 5 for them. They've actually got more points on the board in the last 5 than we have. But a win for us also this coming Saturday could see us go as high as 3rd. So we'll see if we can do just that. As for this weekend, here it is the action for you. Some other big games, including our hosts today. Huddersfield will take on Luton Town at Kenilworth Road to again give themselves a shot at maybe even overtaking us in the league themselves. Other big games: Stoke against West Brom, Coventry against Fulham, Cardiff against Reading, Barnsley against Millwall, Bournemouth against Sheffield United, Hull City against Middlesbrough, QPR against Preston, Peterborough up against Bristol City, Luton Town, Huddersfield, of course we talked about that, Birmingham Forest, and of course Derby County against Swansea. But the game of the day will be at Bloomfield Road when Blackpool take on bloody Blackburn Rovers in the North West Crunch class. That is pretty much it. So that's all I've got for you today, folks. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, smash your thumbs up, and if you do, smash your subscribe and get your bang out today. All things Blackburn Rovers related, Championship related, world football related, we're going to know here. And Warruski, of course, we will be back for Saturday watch along as well against Blackpool, boys and girls, at Bloomfield Road. So hopefully you can join me for that. We'll have a match preview as well prior to that, and of course the predictions and all that kind of stuff on the channel. So make sure you smash the subscribe. Also join me for daily FIFA with Rovers. We're doing absolutely bits. What's that, Mowbray? Mowbray, is that you, Mowbray? Yeah, get your shit sorted for this weekend, Chief. And then, of course, get into the international break with a big fat W. I'm telling you right here, right now. But you guys join me for FIFA Daily, of course, as we see Rovers hopefully get our right our wrongs from yesterday or today and go back in top of the league. Anyway, till then, see you soon. Until then, we are donezo.